Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Craig Gazelle from our Sales Cloud product marketing team. I'm really excited to be here and spend the next 40 minutes with you. I spent a number of years in sales here at Salesforce and used to cover Chicago. And I love coming out here. I love going to Joe's, my favorite steakhouse, getting a steak, and also hearing to and talking to our customers. So today, we're going to talk about sales and where sales is going. And we're going to see some great demonstrations and hear some amazing customer stories along the way. So let's get started. First, we have to show our safe harbor statement. Salesforce is a publicly traded company under the ticker symbol CRM. Please don't make any buying decisions based upon technology that's not currently available. If you have any questions, you can go to our website. And the reason we need to show this slide at the beginning of every presentation is because our product and our technology is moving so quickly. We are constantly delivering new features and new innovations to match the needs of our customers and our industry. And we've been recognized for this. Forbes has named Salesforce.com the leader and the most innovative company in the world the last 3 years in a row. And similarly, Gartner, one of the world's biggest analyst firms, has put Salesforce.com at the top of its Magic Quadrant for the last 7 years running in the SFA Magic Quadrant. And SFA stands for Salesforce Automation. And these are tremendous achievements. Now, are these achievements a result of our leadership, of Mark Benioff and our vision? You know, arguably. But really, we think that these achievements come because of you, because of our customers. You are the ones who inspire us to innovate faster and build all these amazing new features. So how many of you in the room today are Salesforce customers? Please raise your hands. Excellent. Thank you. And for those of you who didn't raise your hand, take a look around. And after this session, make it a point to go meet one of your neighbors. It's amazing what you can learn hearing from customers in different industries about what they're doing with Salesforce and how they're succeeding with the Sales Cloud. So now, let's hear about some of these customer stories in a little bit more depth. We started with the ADP video, and I love that ADP story. I love that ADP decided to save some trees, get rid of all their old paper binders and manuals, and move to an iPad. And they saw a 12% revenue increase, which is unbelievable for a company the size of ADP. How many of you have ever heard of the Trunk Club? The Trunk Club is a great startup based right here in Chicago, not that far from where we are today. And the Trunk Club is disrupting the upper end of men's fashion. The Trunk Club has no stores. I'm actually a member of the Trunk Club. I have a stylist. Her name is Mary Houlihan. And Mary knows everything about me. She knows what brands I like. She knows what sizes fit best. And she even knows I'm getting married in a few months. I only talk to Mary a few times a year, and she knows all this information. And Mary's great at selling me stylish clothing that I would never buy by myself going to the mall. And Mary can do that for upwards of 500 customers just like me. And how could she do that? How can one person scale to 500 clients? It's because Trunk Club is running their entire business on Salesforce.com. And that's the power of connecting your salespeople to your customers on the Sales Cloud. Now, Kimberly-Clark is a little bit bigger company. It's a $21 billion industry. They make many of the household brands that you know and you use. Kleenex, Huggies diapers, Scott tissue. The thing about Kimberly-Clark is they have a large B2B sales organization as well. Their sales reps are out there selling to companies like hotels and healthcare providers. But Kimberly-Clark had a problem. Their reps were much like ADP's reps. They were going to these businesses with giant product catalogs across multiple division and multiple product categories. And the bigger problem was Kimberly-Clark's reps had no visibility into their back-end order management and inventory system. So imagine for a second that you're a manager at the W Lakeshore Hotel where I'm staying. There are over 300 rooms. You can't gamble on buying a new product and hoping that that fulfillment and that inventory will come through. And so Kimberly-Clark solved this problem by building a custom iPad application. And on the iPad, they took all of the information, the customer details from the Sales Cloud, their entire product catalog, and tied them together. Plus, they pulled in their SAP backend system. So now that sales rep can walk into the W Hotel, swipe through the product catalog, in real time, check the backend inventory status, and make that sale with just the swipe of a finger. It's an incredibly powerful story. And these are just a few examples of our customers who are pushing the boundaries of selling using technology. Now, at Salesforce, we're really students of our customers. We like to listen. And we notice trends. So we see where customers and where sales are going in the future. We see companies that are doing all of their selling from a mobile device. And we see companies who are engaging with their leads the moment that that lead is interested, not the moment that the sales rep decides to pick up the phone. We also see companies that know as much about their prospects as they do their very best customers who have been with them for years. And we see companies that have that gap between their best performers and their worst performers incredibly narrow, giving them consistent, sustainable results. And I'm here to tell you that that future is here today. We have built the world's first true customer platform. So you heard earlier in the keynotes how the Salesforce1 customer platform can bring your entire front office together, your sales, your service, your marketing, and how it can tie all of your back-end information together as well, all of your applications, all of your customer data brought together and made available on any mobile device. And so today, we're going to spend our time talking about the sales aspect of the Salesforce1 platform. And we're going to do that by talking about these 4 key areas. And so I'd like to start by talking about selling faster from outside. So here we're talking about your field sales organization. These are the folks who are the frequent flyers, the people who are out there shaking hands and closing deals face to face. So if you're an outside sales rep, would anything be better than being able to do all of your selling and run your entire business from your smartphone? And that's exactly the use case we built for when we built the Salesforce1 mobile application. The Salesforce1 mobile application takes all of your CRM data, your accounts, your contacts, your leads, your opportunities, and even your support information. It puts it right on any phone. And it goes farther than that. It takes any customization that your organization has made, whether that's a custom field tracking a primary competitor, or it's a custom inventory management system. All of those configurations are available right now on the Salesforce1 mobile application. And you can extend the application even farther. You can automate those unique business processes that are special to your company, that are your secret sauce, and put them right in a one-click publisher action. And the Salesforce1 mobile application launched with a robust partner ecosystem as well. So if you really want to take your selling to a next level, you can look at any number of partner solutions that are available to install with just a few clicks. So I could talk to you about the Salesforce1 application all day long, but it's always better to see it. So I'm really happy to welcome Jamie Domenici up to give us a demonstration of how you can sell from anywhere.
Thanks, Greg. Well, I'm excited. I get to show you guys the power of Salesforce1 and what it can really do for your sales team. You guys ready? He's ready. Let's do this. Well, I'm going to show you a demo from the perspective of Steve Malone. Now, Steve is a field rep. He works at Best Tech, and it's a leading provider of hardware and software solutions. So right now, we're looking at Steve's smartphone, and he's going to go ahead and open up Salesforce1. And the first thing that Steve is going to see is his feed. This is how Steve consumes information, and it's how he stays connected to his top deals, his partners, his extended sales team, and so much more. But it's not just a feed, it's a platform. So let's go ahead and click on the upper left-hand corner on the menu button. And the first thing you see is a global search field. Now, Steve can search for any piece of data, from a customer's name to a PDF, right from his phone. And below that, you'll see all of the today's applications. So things like Task, Today, and Dashboards. Everything that Steve needs to manage his day. And below that, you'll see Steve's CRM. Things like accounts and contacts and customers. But it's not just sales information, it's service information. So things like cases or his custom objects, like call plans. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see Steve's third-party applications. Now, Steve's a great sales guy. He doesn't want to just sell from his phone. He wants to close business from his phone. And DocuSign is going to enable him to do that because he can capture signatures right from his phone. Now, another key to success for any field sales rep, and Steve in particular, is the ability to manage his day from his phone. So let's go to the Today application. Here you can see Steve's calendar. This is everything Steve needs to do today. It's taking all the information from Steve's smartphone on his calendar and everything from Salesforce and putting it into one view. So now he's not looking in two places. Where do I got to be? No, one view, one place, right here. Let's see what Steve's first meeting is all about. It's at 11 a.m. It's a customer meeting, and he's meeting with green video. So the first thing you see is there's two invitees, and that first invitee, Jean Anders, she's important. She's the one who signs the checks and is going to close that deal. So what do you notice here? You see Jean's photo. This is really important. Now when Steve walks in the meeting, he's going to instantly recognize Jean because he already knows what she looks like. So he's going to make an immediate personal connection. Now if we swipe to the right, you're going to see all of Jean's information. So any activity that she might have logged, a lead that she filled out, or maybe a service complaint or excitement that she logged. All of it's right here, but most importantly, opportunities. So let's look at her opportunities. We're going to click on that top deal. And if we swipe to the left, you'll see all of Jean's information. This is a feed. It's a consolidated feed of all the conversations around opportunity. So everything that has been talked about is right here. It's also a great way for Steve to stay connected to his extended sales team. So let's look. Chris Fuller, he's on the proposals team. He has just updated the proposal with new pricing. So Steve, being a good salesperson, is going to open up that proposal and review the new pricing before he goes into the meeting. Everything looks pretty good. Now, let's fast forward. The meeting's coming to an end. Steve's feeling good. Jean loves the new pricing. She loves the proposal, but she wants to review it a little bit. And she said, Steve, if I like it, I want to close this business today. Well, in Salesforce1, everything is just a click away of the publisher. So he's going to click on that publisher, and he's going to click on DocuSign. And he's going to immediately click on Jean Anders' name and send that document right over to her. Now, if Jean likes it, she has the ability to sign the deal and send it over. So he just did this in a meeting at the table from his phone, 1 minute, able to send that proposal right over to her. Now, Steve is a fantastic salesperson. And in the meeting, Jean mentioned, I'm kind of interested in that new server, but he could tell she's not ready to buy. Well, lucky for Steve, Best Tech is using Pardot, which is Salesforce's B2B marketing automation technology. So he clicks on the publisher, clicks on Pardot, and he can instantly add Jean to an upsell marketing campaign. This allows Steve to continue building awareness with Jean in the background and hopefully grow that pipeline faster. Okay, so Steve's left the meeting. He's feeling good. It's a great day. He hops into his car. He opens up Today. He pulls up his cell phone, opens up Today, and he looks at his next meeting. What does Steve have to do? Well, it's an internal call, and good news, there's a dial-in. I'm sure how many of you have ever had to do a dial-in from your car? Not so fun, right? What do? You open up your meeting invite, you memorize the conference code, you dial the conference call, you listen to the prompt, and then you type in the code, you get it wrong because you didn't memorize it, or you go back to your meeting invite, try and memorize the code, you go back. It's kind of painful, right? Well, Salesforce1 makes it easy. All you have to do is click on the phone, Salesforce1 dials the call, and it instantly punches the code for you. Hands-free. It makes something so painful so easy. So let's talk about salespeople. It's not really enough just to give them a platform where they can go search for information. You actually want to proactively notify them of things that are happening in their accounts in real time. Well, now you can do this. If you click on the notification in the upper right-hand corner, you can see that Best Tech has let Steve know that one of his customers, Revolution Grocers, has just recently had a battery that's running a little bit low. Now, this is the power of having connected products, but this is also pretty amazing for Steve because he has to call them later, and now he can bring this up on his call. Now, reps are not only in meetings. They actually have a little bit of downtime. And in an ideal world, downtime is productive time. So let's go ahead and look at Steve's tasks and see what he has to do today. Whoa, Steve has a lot to do. Let's go on the urgent task, though. And actually, it's for an add-on deal with one of his customers, Revolution Grocers. So Steve's going to go ahead and click on Richard Ball. He's the contact here. And after he clicks on Richard, he's going to dial right on that phone, give Richard a call. He's going to tell Richard two things. One, hey, Richard, how many cameras do you need? I know that you opened some new stores, and I want to help you get that deal going. And 2, I notice that you have a battery that's running a little bit low. Can I help you with that? Now, Richard is ecstatic. Steve just solved a problem that Richard didn't even know that he had. This is an incredible way to build trust with your customers and really deepen that relationship. Now, you can see Steve hung up, and what happened? He was instantly prompted to add his notes from the call. In the old days, Steve would have taken out a piece of paper, wrote down some notes, put it in his pocket, go on to his next meeting, get some more notes, more in his pocket, and by the time he gets home at the end of the night, take out his laptop and start entering in data. This is no fun. But now with Salesforce1, he was instantly prompted to add his notes. So he's more efficient, the data's better, and now he gets his nights back. No more data entry. Now, Steve, he's not just selling, he's also providing service. So he's going to click on that publisher, and he's going to create a support request. And now he can instantly let his service team know that they need to address that low battery at Revolution Grocers. This provides instant customer service and instant gratification. Well, what is this? I think there's a new notification. Let's click on that in the upper right-hand corner. It's from DocuSign. It looks like Gene Anders from Green Video just signed that deal. Steve is pumped. He closed the deal. This is great. What's he going to do? He's going to immediately go into that opportunity. He's going to update the stage, and he's going to move it to closed and won. This is exciting. Steve moves to the top of the leaderboard. He instantly gets the recognition that he deserves, and now his team back at home can immediately process that order. Now, there's only one thing that's better than closing a deal, and that's winning a deal and getting paid on it. And right here with the Exactly incentive compensation application, Steve instantly knows how much he's going to get paid. He also knows how much closer he is to hitting his quota and getting that free trip to Hawaii. This is how you enable your reps to sell, service, and close business from anywhere. And it's only possible with the Salesforce1 customer platform. Greg, back to you.
Great. Thank you, Jamie. And thank you, Carrie Brook, for driving the demonstration back there. It's a great demo. You know, I have a friend. His name's Kevin. And Kevin's an outside sales rep for a big financial services firm in San Francisco. And this firm rolled out Salesforce about 6 months ago. So when he first rolled it out, of course, I asked him, how was it? And he said, it's great. You know, I can track my accounts, my contacts, and I know where my sales are coming from. He was happy. And then I saw Kevin last week, and I noticed that on his iPhone, he had Salesforce1 as one of the bottom 4 applications. And that's prime real estate on your iPhone. So again, I asked him about it, and now he was ecstatic. He said, now that I have Salesforce on my phone, it's changing the way I work. I used to have to go home and log all my calls because he's in financial services. He has to log all of his client interactions. But now, when he walks out there on the way to the car, he logs it and he's done. He also popped open the application and gave me a demonstration of his leaderboards, his publisher actions. He was so excited. And every one of you in this room can see that same level of success and that excitement because Salesforce1's available right now for you to download. And if you have any questions or you need some help, head over to our campground after the session. We have an entire team there set up, ready to get you going on Salesforce1. So now, let's go ahead and change topics a little bit. Let's talk about how you can connect with your customers on a one-to-one basis. And for many companies, selling starts when that prospect calls in or the sales rep calls out. But more and more today, the buyers are more educated before they interact with the sales rep. Now buyers can do more research. They can reach out to their colleagues and friends on Facebook and Twitter. They can read blogs. They can read the industry analyst reports. In fact, CEB has found that over 60% of the purchasing decision is decided before the sales rep's ever involved. And that's kind of a crazy statistic. And we think it's critical for your success to be able to connect with your customers the moment they're interested, not the moment that the sales rep picks up the phone. And Pardot is Salesforce's B2B marketing automation solution. Pardot turns every one of your sales reps into their own marketing department. Sales reps can add leads to custom nurture journeys and grow their pipeline. And it's not just about growing your pipeline. It's about getting better pipeline. Because now with Pardot, you're able to deliver the right message to the right customer at the right time. But not every organization out there has a direct sales channel. Many big companies like Dell and Cisco and all kinds of technology companies actually sell through the channel. And it's critical, if channel sales is a critical part of your business, to connect with all of your partners on a one-to-one basis. Salesforce Communities allows you to connect and collaborate with your partners like never before. And it's not just passing leads and registering deals. That's table stakes. With Communities, you can collaborate on a deal. You can enable your partners. You can form groups. You can identify experts. And you can do this all right from a mobile device. It's incredibly powerful. Now let's talk for a minute about how you can sell smarter inside. And the Harvard Business Review recently found that inside sales jobs are skyrocketing. Companies are realizing that they can sell virtually and then reduce the cost of the sale. But inside sales is fundamentally different because inside sales teams, they're all in the same location. They're in the office. They're pounding the phones, trying to make as many calls and work as efficiently as possible. And so we think the key to maximizing this inside sales revolution is being able to do all of your job from one screen. I talked before how with the Salesforce1 mobile application, you can run your entire business right from your phone. Similarly, with the Salesforce console for sales, an inside sales rep can know as much about their prospects as about their very best customers, and they can do that all on one single screen. An inside sales rep can quickly view their list lead views. They can add those leads to part out nurturing campaigns. They can pull in third-party information about those leads, and then they can take action. They can quickly send them email. They can click to dial. The console for sales enables inside sales reps to sell smarter and faster than they ever have before. Now, finally, let's talk about what it means to sell with certainty. And selling with certainty is all about the executives. Vice presidents of sales and CEOs today are much different than they were 20 or 30 years ago. CEOs are analytical. It's not enough anymore to just generally know what the forecast is. They want to know what's in that forecast. They want to know what marketing's delivering. They want to know whether their pipeline is shrinking or growing. So I'm excited to tell you about this new innovation we delivered in the Sales Cloud. This is actually a customer-inspired innovation. So one of our customers suggested it. They voted on it, and we went out there and built it. We call it deal trending. And what deal trending allows you to do is look at all of your opportunities. You can see which opportunities are growing in size, which ones are shrinking, what's pushing out of this month. And if you're lucky, you can view what's pulling in. You can identify key trends, figure out where you're winning, and with what reps. And the best thing about deal trending is you can set this up with just a few clicks. You don't need an entire sales operations department, an IT backend, and able to see what's going on in your pipeline. You can do that in real time with deal trending. Now, many organizations, as you grow in size, generally grow in complexity. There are a lot of businesses here in this room that sell multiple products, or businesses that sell with complex sales teams. Maybe you have a sales engineer, an account executive, a product expert, all working together. And thanks to opportunity splits and product forecasts, Salesforce actually enables managers to see what's going on that opportunity, who's contributing what. You can forecast by all those different groups, overlay forecasts. So I actually know what my services team is delivering. It's incredibly powerful, and it gives you the ability to give recognition where recognition is due. Now, finally, as a manager, you can't just manage by the numbers anymore. You need to manage your people. You need to know who's working on the field, and you need to work with them. And Work.com enables you to actually coach all of your reps. You can collaborate around key metrics and key goals. And now that Work.com is 100% native on the Salesforce platform, as soon as that big deal closes, you as a manager are able to give recognition out to your sales team and give them the credit they deserve in front of all of their peers. But our innovations don't stop there. Many of you noticed this past Monday when you logged into Salesforce, you saw a nice flower icon up in the upper left-hand corner. That's because we just finished our spring release. We do 3 major releases per year. And these are just a few of the features that we are working on building in the Sales Cloud. If you want to learn more about what we're doing in the future and what we're building, we're running a roadmap session at 4 p.m. today that we welcome you to join. Now, like I said before, I like to see these features much more than I like to hear myself talk about them. So let's go ahead and welcome Jamie back up here to give us a demonstration about how you could sell with certainty.
Thanks, Craig. Well, the last demo was all about field reps. Now let's talk about how we can enable sales managers. So I'm going to show you a demo from the perspective of Valerie Jones. And Valerie Jones is a sales manager at Best Tech. So right now, Valerie's sitting at her desk, and she's looking at her chatter feed. And this is, again, how Valerie consumes information. But more important, it's how she stays connected to her partners, her customers, but for her, even more important, to her sales team. So look here, she has an update from Jack Thompson, and Jack is a rep who works for Valerie, and he just noted that he has identified a new competitor on a deal. So he's brought in the competitive team. And if we look up, actually we'll see some great news here. It looks like one of the reports that Valerie follows, quota attainment by rep, has just been updated. And it looks like Casey Lee, one of her great reps, has just achieved quota. This is awesome. Every deal and every dollar counts when you're trying to hit your quota. Now, everything here is interactive. So Valerie could go ahead and click onto the report, or she could actually go right into her dashboard. So let's go there. Now, Valerie's dashboard, this is her lifeline. This is everything that she needs to manage and run her business. So let's look at that first chart there. This is Valerie's leaderboard. You can see who's on top and who's having a great month. You can also see who's on the bottom and might need a little bit more help. In this case, it looks like Chris. He's having a bit of a rough month. Now let's go to the second chart here, and this is a new report. This is a push-pull waterfall report, and this allows Valerie to see what deals are pushing out and what deals are pulling in. And because of our new analytics API, you have this awesome chart here, this new graphic. So let's go ahead and drill in. And when we start looking at this report in a little bit more detail, I'm going to tell you what it means. First of all, you see some red here, 3 red deals. Yeah, red's not a good thing. That means that those deals are being pushed out to next month. And it looks like they're owned all by the same rep. Oh, it's that Chris Johnson again. He's having a rough month. But good news, there's some green on this chart too. And what that means is those 3 deals on the bottom in green are being pulled in. Good. Whew, thank goodness. It looks like 2 of them are owned by Jack Thompson. So he's having a pretty good month. Now, this is important. This really helps Valerie to understand what her month is shaping up to look like. And more important, it allows her to forecast with accuracy. So let's go right into her forecast. Now, when we get there, let's look at something in particular. Let's look at Jack Thompson's commit. You see he has 2 deals. He's saying these are going to close this month. The second deal with General Utilities, it's actually a $200,000 deal. But you see here, he's only getting credit for $157,000. That's 75% of the total deal. Now, how are they doing that? Well, there's 2 reps. They're selling 2 products on this deal. Jack's only getting credit for one of them. And the way that Best Tech does this is by using opportunity splits. And now enables you to give reps, 2 different reps on one deal, different credit. Now let's go back up. Valerie had learned some really good information from that push-pull report. So she's going to go ahead and manually adjust her forecast. Now Jack, he had the 2 deals in green. So she's going to go ahead and up his guidance. She thinks he can bring in a little bit more. Now on the other side of things, Chris is having a pretty rough month. And she's not so confident about his number. So she's going to go ahead and take that number down. This is really important. This gives Valerie the ability to manually adjust her forecast. At the end of the day, Valerie owns this number. She needs her managers and her peers to see the number that she feels is really going to close. And by manually overriding, it gives her the ability to do this. So Valerie, she's an awesome manager. And she knows that it's not just about managing numbers. She also has to manage people. So right now we're looking at Valerie's coaching feed. And let's look at Jack Thompson in particular. Now, the first thing that you'll notice when we look at Jack's coaching record is that there are actually quantitative metrics here. So Valerie has told Jack, you have to achieve 100% of your quota, and I also want you to close 10 global sales deals. Now, you'll notice that there's a status here, because Valerie has the ability to create a report that measures all of this right within Salesforce, because work.com is native. There's also the ability to do qualitative metrics as well. So remember at the beginning of the demo, we saw that Jack had brought in a competitor, which is great because he brought in the competitive team. What's not so great is he's doing it at the last minute. So now Valerie's going to go ahead and make a note of that right now. And she's going to say, Jack, I need you to start bringing that team in earlier. She's going to save it. And now Jack has that information. But more important, when Valerie has her one-on-one next week, she's just going to come right here and look at her comments that she's made, and she's going to be able to have a real-time conversation. Now, Valerie is a woman on the go. So she has now just got up from her desk. She got into a taxi, and she's on her way to the airport. So right now, she's going to switch right over to her phone. Now, the first thing we see is her feed, and you can see everything that Valerie did on her desktop is here. So you'll see Jack's coaching note. And if we scroll up, you see some good news. Okay, it looks like that general utilities deal that we saw for $157,000, Jack just closed it. And when he closed it, he actually achieved quota. And you remember, that was one of Jack's goals. So now that he's done it, he got instantly badged from work.com and got the immediate recognition that he deserves. Now, Valerie, being the good sales manager, is instantly going to click on the publisher and go to update her forecast right away. Because she says, Jack is on fire, and I think he can bring in just a little bit more. So she's going to update his number. She's going to click submit, and now her forecast is up to date. This is how you can empower a sales manager to manage efficiently and effectively right with Salesforce1. Greg, back to you.
Great. Thank you, Jamie. Now let's hear from one of our customers. BMO Harris is a $90 billion bank and financial services institution. So I'm really excited to welcome Evan Miller, who's the Vice President and Business Director for Salesforce.com. Evan, welcome.
How you doing?
Excellent. So, Evan, tell me a little bit about BMO.
So first of all, people won't know this from looking at me, but unfortunately I do not have a stylist. So I just wanted to clear the air with that.
Thank you.
Sure. So we've been on Salesforce for about 4 years right now. We've got multiple lines of business. We've got all our retail on, high desk, low desk, small business bankers, premier, financial advisors, mortgage, contact center, and compliance. We've got our private banking going on in September. So about 7,000 seats today.
Excellent. And so it sounds like BMO standardized on Salesforce. What was life like before?
So it was the same story. We had 3 Lotus Notes homegrown databases. One was for leads. One was for profiles. We had another one for referrals. None of them were integrated with anything. So even to do a profile on an existing customer, you had to start from scratch, enter in name, address, and the accounts they had with the bank.
Okay. And so when we were talking last week, you told me about this smart referral system for tellers. So can you tell me a little bit about that and some of the results you're seeing?
Sure. So brand new integration where we load into Salesforce. We just recently loaded about 500,000 offers. Our marketing team goes through, finds the next best offer, loaded it in, and we created an integration with Salesforce. Our teller platform now, teller brings a customer in a session that's at the window, does an API call into Salesforce, looks to see if there are any offers available for that customer, and actually pops it on their screen. They make that offer, and if the customer says yes and a referral is created, they do it right in the teller system without ever leaving it. Much more efficient, much more accurate for the tellers. As far as the results, they've been spectacular in that, typically we see in banks if a teller makes an offer, it's usually about a 1 in 100 hit where a customer says yes. With these pointed offers, we were running, coming into this morning, well over 10%.
Wow, that's fantastic. 10% increase, or 10x increase. It's amazing. So how do managers at BMO manage more effectively with Salesforce? Yeah,
so the whole idea there is kind of like what we saw in the demos, if you think about it. We're very disciplined in our branches with huddling. We huddle in the morning. We huddle at night. We check in during the day at all levels of management and with the team. And what Salesforce has enabled us to do with the dashboards is the info is there at real time. So I don't have to walk up to you in a branch and say, Greg, so slow week, what's the afternoon look like, right? Instead, I can look at, what's your future face-to-face look like? And I say, hey, Greg, the Smiths are in at 3 o'clock. What's the game plan? Do you have treasury management coming in? Is there anything I can help you with? It makes for a much quicker, more pointed conversation. And then my managers can spend their time coaching, and my front line can spend their time selling.
Oh, it's fantastic. And finally, one more question. Where do you see mobile playing a role at BMO or BMO?
Well, so it's right along the same line. So now I'm out in the field, right? I'm out in the field, and how can I have that quick kind of conversation? We talk about, certainly Salesforce has the DNA of our customers, but from a coaching standpoint, what's the quick win I can get there? Hopefully it's not just redirects, right, or refocus on something, but it can be, the attaboy, the attagirl, looking at a dashboard in real time, making a quick call. Maybe it's sharing a best practice. Maybe a great deal closed with some new technique, some new collateral. We can post that, make everything a lot quicker. What I don't like is I don't like managers having salespeople cobble together spreadsheets to send them so they can have a conversation about them, because that takes away from the time they could just sell or coach, right?
Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Evan. It's a great story. Thanks for being here. So we've covered a lot of material in the last 40 minutes. I hope you've all enjoyed hearing about the Salesforce1 customer platform and how it can enable you to really sell from anywhere. But we have one more order of business before we take off. Everyone here is eligible to win a pass to Dreamforce 2014. So if you could all reach down into your seat, one of you will have a lucky pass on there to join us in San Francisco. So congratulations to the winner. Go ahead and stand up. There we go. Excellent. And like I said before, we always like to hear from our customers, so we'd love to hear some feedback from this session. Head over to the registration booth and we'll buy you a cup of coffee. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great afternoon.